Tanare Udastat
Viduta kalko tahare udashtat.
Prayadi Chakram Vipasaya Sumharam
Prayati chakram ripashai shumaram.
Vaishvanaram Yanti Vihaya Sagatam
Vaishvanaram yati vihaya sagata.
Sushunaya Brahma Patena Sochisa
Susumnaya brahma patena shochisha.
Vishutaka Tadare Udastat
Viduta kalpo tahare udashtat.
Yanti Chakram Vipasaya Sumharam
Prayati chakram ripashai shumaram. Vaishvanaram yati vihaya sagata.
Vaishvanaram Yanti Vihaya Sagata
Shushumnaya brahma patena shochisha.
Sushumnaya Brahma Patena Sochisa
Viduta kalko tahare udashta.
Vrutakalko Tahare Udasta
Prayati chakram vipashai shumaram.
Prayati Chakram Prasaya Samaram Vaishvanaranam,
Vaishvanaram,
the controlling deity of fire.
controlling deity of fire.
Yati
Yati
goes
goes.
Vihayasa
Vihayasa,
by the path in the sky,
by the path in the sky,
the Milky Way.
the Milky Way.
Gata
Gata,
by passing over.
by passing over.
Susumnaya,
Susubhaya,
and by the Susumna,
by the Susumna,
Brahma,
Brahma,
Brahmaloka,
Brahmaloka,
Patena,
Patena,
on the way to
on the way to
Sochisa,
Shochicha,
illuminated,
illuminated,
Vidhuta,
Viduta,
being washed off,
being washed off,
Kalpa,
Kalka,
dirt,
dirt,
Atta,
Atta,
thereafter,
thereafter,
Hare,
Hare,
of Lord Hare,
of Lord Hare,
Rasta,
Udashta,
upwards,
upwards,
Hayati,
Prayati,
does reach,
does reach,
Chakram,
Chakra,
circle,
circle,
Nripa,
Ripa,
O king,
okay,
Saisumaram,
Shaishumaram,
named Sushumara.
named Shishumar.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. So the Prabhupada Vijaya. O king, when such a mystic passes over the Milky Way by the illuminating Sushumna to reach the highest planet, Brahmaloka, he goes first to Vaishvanara, the planet of the deity of fire. I guess that's another name for the sun.
Fire.
Wherein he becomes completely cleansed of all contaminations. And thereafter, because he burns it up. And thereafter, he still goes higher to the circle of Susumara to relate with Lord Hari, the personality of God at purport. The polar star of the universe and the circle thereof is called the Susumara circle, and therein the local residential planet of the personality of God, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, is situated. Before reaching there, the mystic passes over the Milky Way to reach Brahmaloka, and while going there, he first reaches Vaishvanara Loka, where the demigod controls fire. On Vaishvanara Loka, the yogi becomes completely cleansed of all dirty sins acquired while in contact with the material world. The Milky Way in the sky is indicated herein as the way leading to Brahmaloka, the highest planet of the universe. We'll go on to the next verse. Tadvishwanabhim 20 Varti Vishnu Aniyasa Vira Din Atmakayaka Namaskritam Brahma Vidam Upayati Tapayaso Jadviruddha Brahmante. This Susamara is the pivot for the turning of the complete universe, and it is called the navel of Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu. The yogi alone goes beyond this circle of Susumara and attains the planet Maharloka, where purified saints like Bhrigu enjoy a duration of life of 4,300,000,000 solar years. This planet is worshipable even for the saints who are transcendentally situated. We'll do one more verse. At the time of the final devastation of the complete universe, the end of the duration of Brahma's life, a flame of fire emanates from the mouth of Ananta, from the bottom of the universe. The yogi sees all the planets of the universe burning to ashes, and thus he leaves for Satyaloka by airplanes used by the great purified souls. The duration of life in Satyaloka is calculated to be 15 trillion?
311 trillion.
Well, here it says 15,480,000,000,000. Well, no, 15, is it 15 trillion or quadrillion? 15,400,000,000,000.
Mine reads something different.
Yeah, here it says 15,480,000,000,000 years. Really, yours says something different.
311 trillion, which
It's
is
supposed to be. That's generally what we hear.
That's the duration of the universe.
Oh, duration of life in Satyaloka. Well, Brahma's life is supposed to be 311 trillion.
Yeah.
But here it says duration of life in Satyaloka. That's Satyaloka. It's not Brahmaloka.
Same thing, yeah.
Is it?
No.
Well, there's some. All right, here we go. Purport. You will understand something more from this purport. Purport. It is indicated herein that the residents of Maharloka, whether purified living entities or demigods, possess a duration of life calculated to be 4,300,000,000 solar years, have airships by which they reach Satyaloka, the topmost planet of the universe. In other words, the Srimad Bhagavatam, maybe that's solar years, but in our years it'd be 311 trillion years.
Yeah.
This is solar years.
Right, for the one 15 trillion?
Yeah. Maybe 311 trillion, that's our years.
Yeah.
And solar years, or yeah. Anyway. In other words, the Srimad Bhagavatam gives us many clues about other planets far, far away from us, which modern planets and spacecraft cannot reach, even by imaginary speeds. The statements of Srimad Bhagavatam are accepted by great acharyas like Sridhar Swami, Ramanujacharya, and Vallabhacharya. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specifically accepts Srimad Bhagavatam as the spotless Vedic authority, and as such, no sane man can ignore the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam when it is spoken by the self-realized soul, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who follows in the footsteps of his great father, Srila Vyasadeva, compiler of all Vedic literatures. In the creation of the Lord, there are many wonderful things we can see with our own eyes every day and night, but we are unable to reach them equipped by modern materialistic science. We should not therefore depend on the fragmentary authority of materialistic science for knowing things beyond the range of scientific purview. For a common man, both modern science and Vedic wisdom are simply to be accepted, because none of the statements either of modern science or of Vedic literature can be verified by them. The alternative for a common man is to believe either of them or both of them. The Vedic way of understanding, however, is more authentic because it has been accepted by the acharyas, who are not only faithful and learned, but are also liberated souls without any of the flaws of the conditioned souls. The modern scientists, however, are conditioned souls liable to so many errors and mistakes. Therefore, the safe side is to accept the authentic version of Vedic literatures like Srimad Bhagavatam, which is accepted unanimously by the great Acharya. Yet Kripataraham Bande Shiguram Dinadaram Vanchagopajubhishcha Kripasundevcha Paritanam Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Ram. Prabhupada says in one purport that the materialistic scientists have lost their brain work due to accepting the theory of perhaps, maybe. They've lost their brain work, their brains aren't working. Because they're speculating so much. They make so much, Prabhupada mentioned here, they make so many mistakes. And they have to change. They change the books so many times because they make mistakes. This is one of the flaws. Make mistakes, imperfect senses, tendency to cheat, and imperfect senses.
Our tendency to be illusion,
to be an illusion, to make mistakes, imperfect senses, tendency to cheat. Cheating. These are the flaws of the conditioned souls. So we have these big scientists that have all their flaws, but we're supposed to accept them as authoritative. I was talking to one student, and he said, "Yeah, I tend to believe in God more because I don't trust the scientists because they make so many mistakes, mistake after mistake." So, but the Vedic literatures, this is Krishna. Mayam mugdha jiva nahi swati Krishna gyan jivara kapoya Krishna Veda Paran. Maya mugdha jiva, the conditioned souls that are enchanted by the material. Maya mugdha jiva nahi swati Krishna gyan. Therefore, Krishna comes and he gives us Krishna gyan. He gives us knowledge of the absolute truth. Maya mugdha jiva nahi swati jivara kapoya, out of his mercy. Jivara kapoya Krishna Vedapan. He comes and he gives us the Vedas. This is the mercy of Krishna. Otherwise, we're just here stuck with our minds, our imperfect minds. So Krishna comes and gives us the absolute truth, not the relative truth. It's like Prabhupada was in I think it was in Washington D.C. Bhakti Swarup Damodar was there, and the Tamil president had invited one professor to see Prabhupada, and he was a professor of Hinduism. So Prabhupada asked the professor, "So what is Hinduism?" He said, "I don't know. You tell me." So Prabhupada said, "We have another doctor here. We have Bhakti Swarup. He says he's a professor of Hinduism, but he doesn't know. What is it? What do you think?" And Prabhupada, he's not a teacher, he's a cheater. And that really sparked things. Well, it took got quite heated. Then Brahmananda came in with his gamsha, and he saw what was going on. He said, "Professor, I think it's time for you to leave." Brahmananda, okay. So, yeah, there's a lot of cheating. Too much cheating going on in the material world. And Prabhupada said, but I have not come here to cheat you, but I've come here to give what is most important, which is Krishna consciousness. Now here it's interesting. The translation says, when he becomes completely cleansed of all contamination. So, actually we'll start off with this. O King, when such a mystic passes over the Milky Way by the illuminating Susuna to reach the highest planet, Brahmaloka, he goes first to Vaishvanara, planet, the deity of fire, where he becomes completely cleansed of all contaminations. And thereafter he still goes higher to the circle of Susumara to relate with Lord Hari, personality of God. So it says he gets free of all contamination. It doesn't say the process, but he gets cleansed of all contamination. But of course, there's a statement, Iti Siddhasakam Nama Kali Kamasanasa Nata Prajvarvani Sarva that if one wants to be free of all contamination and free of all the sins of the age of Kali, there is no alternative than to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. And there's a lot of contamination to the world, too much contamination. I was talking to one devotee. He said when I went to college, that's where I learned how to sin. Get more sophisticated, you know.
High school or college, one of the two.
Yeah, but well, at least back then. I mean, now high school is pretty elevated too in sinful activity. But yeah, it's just so. I mean, I remember when I was growing up in high school. It was, I mean, the girls were still a little chaste, you know. Some they wouldn't get married until they wouldn't have sex until they got married. A lot of them now it's like junior high. It's become so degraded, so contaminated. It's pretty much been accepted. Just go for it. Just enjoy. You only go around once in life. Get all the gusto you can. That's the message. But no, there's one. I heard there's one instance of a person who had he was maybe about 18, and he went to the police, and he said, I could tell you who killed me in my last life. Somehow he had remembrance who. Only in India, right? So he had remembrance of who had killed him, and so they went to the person who he said had killed him, and it was a mystery who had killed him in his previous life. So he gave details of how this person had killed him. So they arrested him, put him in jail. Only India, right? There's this book by Ian Stevenson, and he came up with so many instances of people having past lives. And what's really amazing is Archita, he got a phone call from a lady who said that she wanted to donate Lakshmi for the devotees prashadam for a week or something like that. And she wanted to get some books, and he says he was surprised. He said, why do you want to do all that? And she said, when I was young, I was taken in the sky in my subtle body. And then I was taken back. I went into my body again. And it was always a mystery, like, but then I got one of your books and I saw the picture of Krishna. He's the one that took me around. I just said, okay, well, that makes sense. She became a member of the community. So yeah, there's a lot of amazing things that happen by the arrangement of Krishna. And what's most amazing is that Srila Prabhupada, he came and he lifted so many people that were just totally in the mode of ignorance and passion and lift them up. Sometimes people would say to Prabhupada or ask Prabhupada, oh, can you perform miracles? And they'd be devoted, this is my miracle. I've turned these Malechas, these Yavanas into Vaishnavas. That's pretty good. I was in Udupi, India. I was getting trying to get some treatment there. And I was at the temple. We have a very famous, you've been to Udupi? Yeah. There's a famous temple there. What's the name?
Krishna temple, I don't know the name, which specific name is Madhvacharya's deity.
Yeah.
Udupi
Came out of the Udupi Krishna. So I was there just going around, checking out the temple, and 4 young Brahmins came and they saw me. And they looked at me and said, Gunda. Okay, thanks a lot. They saw me with my white skin. And they just think, this guy's just a pretender, he's just a Gunda. But Prabhupada didn't see that. He saw that we had the white skin and we were so sinful, but he could see that crows can be changed into swans. But some people think that you're born a Malacha, yeah, but you're that's it. You're a Gunda, that's it. But not Prabhupada. Not Prabhupada. Not Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Anybody that takes to Krishna consciousness, they could have a change of heart. They can become brahmanas. And Prabhupada gives the example, just like a doctor. He may be a very good doctor, and his wife also may be a very good doctor, and they have a son, and it's not that automatically the son becomes a doctor. I mean, that'd be ridiculous. He goes into a hospital and he goes into the surgery room and he starts asking questions and they say, well, who are you? Oh, my father's a doctor, my mother's a doctor, so I'm a doctor. Did you go to university? No, it's not necessary. I'm born. That's ridiculous. No, he's got to go through the whole thing also. I mean, he's got a good advantage because both his parents are doctors, but he's got to go through the whole program. He's got to go through medical school, and he can become a doctor. So similarly, if somebody practices Krishna consciousness, they can become a Brahmana. And we see that in India, so many Brahmanas, they're probably they're smoking bidis and doing eating fish and doing this and doing that, but they're not acting as Brahmanas, although they're born in Brahmana family. Whereas devotees, they're strictly practicing, but no, they're not. They're not Brahmana. So, yeah, to actually be a Brahmana is not easy. But if one is a Vaishnava, then automatically one is a Vaishnava. So it's about, I was just listening to a lecture of Prabhupada, it's about nivritti, and pravriti. There's certain things that we have to reject, and there's certain things that we have to accept. Just like a doctor, there's a patient, the doctor says, well, yeah, if you want to get healthy, there's certain things you can't do. And there's certain things you have to do to get healthy. So also Krishna's given us so much direction on things that we have to do and things that we have to avoid if we want to become healthy. And there's 5 things that are considered to be the most conducive for our spiritual health. Sadhusanga, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravana, Mathura Vashri, Mathura Sudhaya Seva. These are what make us healthy very quickly. The association of devotees. If we associate with devotees, then we pick up the good habits of devotees. It's like we have so many good examples. Now, recently we had Radhanath Swami here, of course, by Sesika Maharaj, that we had so many good examples come, and we learn from them. And the more we associate with devotees, then we pick up their good habits. The Prabhupada said, just like if someone associates with a drunkard, then they pick up the bad habits of a drunkard. And now throughout the world, there's so many drunkards, so many people just, you go to the university or high school, they're taking drugs and alcohol. There's no good association, unfortunately. So Prabhupada, he came and he created devotees so people can associate with devotees. Nam Kirtan, the holy name of Krishna. This age, it's a very degraded age, but this chanting of Hare Krishna, it's a what do they call it?
Panacea?
No, a panacea. It's a handicap for Kali Yugas because it's such a degrade. We get a handicap. Just chant Hare Krishna and be happy, because this is such a degraded age. But even that, it's difficult. Even that's difficult. Prabhupada, he was talking. He said, if you just chant 16 rounds a day, and you follow the 4 regular principles, I promise you'll go back to God at the end of this life. And Sridhar Maharaj said, "Wow, it's so easy." But then so many big devotees weren't able to do that. So actually, we have to get a higher taste. If we don't have a higher taste, then to chant 16 rounds a day and follow regular principles is very difficult. You have a higher taste, yeah, not a problem. That higher taste is very important. And the chanting of Hare Krishna, this is a higher taste. This is very satisfying to the soul. Just by this chanting, we can get realization that we're the soul, that we're different from this material body. Just like yesterday, I got the bike to go for a little bike ride, and I scraped my arm, and some skid came off. And Krishna kind of gave me the realization, it's just meat. The body is blood and meat. And I was thinking, yeah, it's just a leak in the bag. It's a bag, right? Prabhupada somebody said it's a bag. It's a bag of blood and stool and urine and all these things. That's what it is, skin bag. So one part of the skin bag broke out and the blood came out. And it happened a couple more times yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Because we were doing so many things yesterday. Yes, you just do things and things happen. Some pitcher broke yesterday. Some glass landed on my foot. material world. So yeah, the material body is just a bag. People take care of it so nicely. Like sometimes you see women on Book Street, they got so much makeup. I say, wow, you got so much. It's like you got it's a piece of art on your face, a piece of art on your face. How long did it take to put it all on there? Yeah, about 45 minutes. Just to try to make the body attractive. So many ways they try to make the body attractive. Yeah, they get the facelift, and where they have the shots. Botox. You get rid of the wrinkles. In so many ways. Makeup. So many ways. Now men are also they're putting makeup. And they got breast implants. Was it like I think over 20 million women in America? Breast implants. Try to attract those men, yes. And so many times they leak. And they got it just becomes hellish. Yes. So many ways they try to look attractive. But inevitably this body is gonna look old and unattractive no matter how many Botox shots, no matter how many facelifts and makeup, it's gonna look unattractive, very unattractive. But what's actually attractive is the soul. And therefore, people that may not be very attractive externally, they're very attractive if they're spiritually advanced. Yeah. It's like there's so many devotees now, they're elderly, but because they have spiritual realization, because they're advanced in Krishna consciousness, they're attractive. Just like there's this Mataji Yamuna Devi. Now she had some disease or something. She was like 300 pounds or something, very heavy. But she was very advanced, so she was attractive. And generally, women that are very, 300, maybe 350 pounds, she was big. You ever see her when she was like that? She was big. But everybody was attracted to her because she's so advanced. Generally, people aren't very attracted to old people and fat people. But because she was advanced spiritually, everybody is attracted. So this is what's actually attractive, and this is what makes Krishna also so attractive. He, of course, he's the most attractive, but he gives so much wisdom. Like when I read the Bhagavad Gita, I was just like, wow, this is the most sublime wisdom I've ever heard. I was like, when you reading, I was reading, I was amazed, like, wow, I finally found the truth, Like, I finally found a good friend. So, that's Krishna. He's everyone's best friend. And by taking shelter of Krishna through the holy name, then we get purified. Sadhusanga Nam Kirtan Bhagavat Shravana, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the Amala Purana, the spotless Purana. It's so nice. Therefore, we read the Bhagavatam over and over again. And it doesn't get old. Now there's some temples, they've gone over it. Now we've been reading since, I think, 72, they started having or maybe 71, they started having the regular Bhagavatam. But before that, it was, they were doing Harinam a lot, and they didn't really have, maybe it was 70 or something like that. But ever since then, now it's been, so that's 56 years or something. So we're going over the Bhagavatam, just keep on going over it. And it's so nice. Krishna Bhakti Nishkama, Atayeva Shanta. So this helps us to become satisfied, peaceful. in Krishna consciousness, just hearing over and over again. And we're hearing also Prabhupada's purports. And we're hearing his classes. There's one devotee in Italy. He said, I've listened to this one Bhagavatam class of Prabhupada over 10 times, and still I'm getting more. So, really, really into hearing Prabhupada's lectures. So now also in the car I have this, I have Prabhupada's lectures. But now it doesn't repeat. I mean, it doesn't go on to the next, it repeats. So I keep hearing it. And then after I heard it about maybe 4 times, then okay, now let's go to the next lecture. Yeah, because things you don't, sometimes, especially when you're driving, you're tense. So I hear it again and again and again. Then I go, okay, I've heard that one, now I'll go to the next one. It's nice. Prabhupada is just an ocean of realization. Sadhusanga Nam Kirtan Bhagavat Shravanam Mathura Vas, living in the holy places. Just like now we have so many temples, and these are also holy places. Prabhupada was in Los Angeles, and he said, we're not in Los Angeles, we're in Vaikuntha, because we're in the temple, we live in the temple of Krishna. So we're all these temples are actually embassies of the spiritual world. They're not material places. They're saying we have this temple here in Mountain View. Now we're trying to get another temple. But this temple here, it's just like so nice, especially on the weekends when the devotees come and give classes. So they're not material places. And then deity worship. See, if we worship the deity, then we become cultured. There's respect, there's awe, there's respect for the deity. So, and it's so nice, this deities here are so beautiful. They have these wonderful outfits they dress the deities with. So it's so nice to see the deities every morning, just pleasing to the mind, to the soul. So, any question, comment? Srila Prabhupada ki jai.